Hello and welcome back to episode 4 of our ongoing series where we are creating the perfect Sims 4 forever save that best suits your Sims needs. Last time we spoke about how to import existing families into the new save without losing their inventory items. We also confirmed that they would retain jobs, skills, aspiration progress and household relationships, whilst losing, maybe through a bug or not, their school progress or regression. So that school-age Sims in my move reverted back to their grade C school report. This week we will be looking at how to import multiple households without losing the relationships between them as far as we possibly can. As suggested in the last episode, this can be done only if the total number of Sims in these households does not exceed 8 among them. Just as we did last week, you would still need to first save their inventory items into a room in your library and evict them, checking that their funds now reflect the sale of their lot. At this point though, this time we will not be going straight to cast to save them to your library. Instead, the first thing I suggest you do is to take note of the household's current funds and list them somewhere, as we will be referring back to this amount later on. Do this for each of the households that you want to make related in the new save file. Then, also like we explained last time, you are to go to CAS for the household from the Manage Households menu and save to your library. Again, this must be done for each household that is going to be related in the new save file. After this, we can go into the new forever save file and open CAS to create a household including all the people who we want to be related. Import the first household from the library into the CAS and replace the existing randomized sim. Then add from the library the other household members that you want to have related. Clicking merge rather than replace each time. Don't forget you can only have a maximum of 8 in the household. At this point you can change the dynamics, the relationships, so that you can set them to how they were in your previous file if some of them were siblings or the nephews and nieces will show up once you create the adult siblings as well. And once you're happy with all the relationships you set, you can then click to put your household on a lot, from where you can then evict them again, or else you can just cancel the interaction and have them go to the other households. At this point, you can split them again into separate households and they will still retain the familial relationships that you've created. This is where it will come in handy to have a note of how much of the total household funds belonged to the particular family. Since cats, dogs and horses also take up slots in your household total, this might further complicate things if your families are too big to amalgamate because of pets. However, since pets anyway have no official relationship to their owners as such, I have found that I can lend the pets to some other random sim to free up slots, then go through the whole operation of amalgamating households and carrying them over to the new save with their relationships intact, and adding the pets back after all is done and each household separated back to its original state. Since pets are unable to exist in a household without human sims, you cannot bypass having to import also the sim who volunteers to travel with your pets from one dimension to the next. You can always delete them afterwards if you have no intention of playing with the sim. I have personally carried over many cats and dogs to my new save in this way. However, I have to admit I have never once played with horses since buying the horse ranch pack ages and ages ago, so I am not sure whether this would work just as well for the horses. Since I imported so many sims of my own from other save files, I had enough that I could put some of them in the other households, so that some of the townies were actually related to my legacy sims. And this way I was also avoiding the game spawning townies of its own. And that concludes today's episode. Please comment below if you learned something from this and like if you enjoyed it. Also subscribe not to miss next week's episode, where we'll be taking a more general view about other things to consider when creating a forever save before jumping into the save and playing some Let's Plays in following weeks. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.